Try and make this quite general. Right, my journey. So, I watched the Lee Sankey video, which talks about moving the tongue blocking power engine from this and tongue doing this to then try and tongue block in, which is more a requirement of the back of the tongue or the hump or the back of the tongue. There's a lot of debate about these things, and possibly the throat. Yeah, okay. So one of the things that he suggests, and I quickly cottoned onto this, is you pucker a harmonica. I learned to bend on an A harmonica. The reason being is because there's more grace. And I believe that's why people pick up bending easier with puckering, is because there's more grace. You're doing this with your tongue, right? What's happening? Oh yeah, there's noise. Let's keep doing that. It's working. But with the tongue blocking, because your tongue is on the holes of the harmonica, you're now relying upon this, which is largely a docile sort of part of your tongue. It's just a lump of steak, right? It's very docile compared to the tip. The tip is more direct, pointed, and this is more docile. Right, so one of the ways, if you've been a puckerer, to start to think about getting this going is to pucker hole 2, but instead of doing this with your tongue, right, floor your tongue and begin to sort of like just feel your throat pull. Our tongue is floored. And as a beginner tongue blocker or any bending motion, you just want to begin to get those noises. Right, so you used to do it like this. Moving your tongue about or whatever. So you know what noise you're working for. Let's do it with moving the tongue. Right now my tongue is quite active. Now I do it with my tongue floored. Okay, so it's just beginning to make that noise. So, what, it's using an A harmonica is up to you. It's completely up to you. I learned to bend on the A. Actually, I used the A a lot. The reason being was I quickly began to hate the C harmonica until I started Tomlin's course, which requires your C harmonica, follow the course, submit your work, right? So there's quite a few videos which break down what each hole does. If like for me, quite often I pucker hole 1 anyway, unless it's vamping, then I switch hole 1 and 2, switch my tongue either side. So for that hole, you can just try dropping your jaw on a pucker. So you can literally plant your tongue in the bottom cavity of your mouth. Right? But the 1 hole bend is not actually very practical as a beginner. It's not in songs, really. Do you know what I mean? you'll get it later on in licks. All right, so hold 2. Hold 2 could possibly be where you start, because if you're used to puckering, hold 2, and you've tried the thing where you're flooring your tongue, it's all about trying stuff and see if you can get that sound or begin to get that sound. Hold 2. Just what I say is pucker hold 2, and now widen your mouth a little bit, include hold 1 and block hold 1. Put your tongue over hold 1. If you've already learnt your major scale tongue blocking, maybe Dave Barrett's Walk With Me tongue blocking, well, you've already got some tongue blocking, so kind of block hold 1. And the benefit of this is you're blocking hold 1 and you're going to try and bend hold 2, which might be slightly easier for you because you're only covering 2 holes. You've been used to covering 1 hole with a pucker. Now you're only covering 2 holes and your tongue is blocking hole 1. And so for now, just try and get that sound, that that's all for now, because you're getting used to activating this engine thing going here, either this part of your tongue or your throat and your tongue. Yeah, same with hole 3. Now there's less grace with hole 3 because there's 3 bends. Right, so for all of these things, I've always said, highly recommend Richard Slay's Bending Meditation. Go to Richard Slay's website. He's got online store. It's called Bending Meditation. It's probably something like $2 now. It used to be 99 cents or whatever, or $1. Now it's probably 2. It's an audio file and it's him going. He tells you what hole, he says hold 2, bend, half step. And you copy what he's doing. He'll say hole 4, half step. And you just copy it. Yes, this is on an A and his is on a C. Well, all you do is you get a speed changer app on Android or Amazon, Apple, and you just press change the pitch. You make it the same key as what you want it to be by going up a couple until it sounds the same. It's very easy to do. If you want help with that, let me know. Or you just do it on a C harmonica because he's got it on a C harmonica. Right. Strongly recommend you stick with one brand whilst you're two departments, the work department, the fun department. Right, learning to bend is more in the work department. This is my opinion, right, and the way I practice. Watch, feel, listen, and adjust. Yeah, right. In the work department. So in the work department, use the same trusted tools. Decent harmonica. Don't jump around different keys and all that sort of thing. Yes, give them all a try. The C, the A, the G. Give them a try, right? Or maybe even B flat. Give them a try. But what I'm saying is, if you're like, right, you found a song with a 4 half step bend in it, and you're working towards that. Whilst you're doing that, you don't want to jump around different models and brands. and different keys. The reason being is because we want to train our ear to go, do. Yes, that's what I want to hear. So say it. See, so you want to. See, so now I can play that song a million times over and it sounds the same every time. Yeah, half step on the free. Different keys and different keys mostly, because the G harmonica, you can drop your jaw that much. Yeah. On the F, you need a smaller cavity. So if you're new to harmonica, you're going to be battling with this information. You will be trying to play a D harmonica with the same jaw space because you haven't been told. Yeah. Or you're going to be trying to play, like for instance, so the different jaw space on a C for the whole 4 half step, quite often people will say smaller cavity. Whole 1 on a C harmonica, there's more grace, and that's why I say A harmonica. But I'm not explicitly dogmatically saying you have to use an A harmonica. I'm saying that's what I did. Yeah, all free lessons on YouTube. Most things are taught in a C. Yes, have a C in the work department for bending, for everything harmonica. Give it a go. Yeah, don't hate it like I did. Definitely not. But if you've got young kids and a newly married sort of thing, the wife is going to hate you if you're using high-pitched harmonicas and you're going. There's a point I just highlighted as well. There's nothing practical about you jumping from different holes, bending all of them, trying to get every bend on hole 3 within 2 weeks, every hole on hole 2 within 3 weeks. What would be more beneficial possibly, right, is you stick with 1 or 2 or 3 songs with one bending in it, like the. So if you spent 3 months going, yeah, you're gonna make big strides, massive strides. In fact, what I'm doing there is I'm hitting the half step straight off. So see, this is what happened to me. So is like information download really. Yeah, see, not many people can hit a bend straight off. So this is why you do need a bit of time. Just go. But you can go. Did you see what I did? When it come to the half step, I bent into it for the sake of, like, no one's going to come along and say to you, no, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Because one day you will go. And then what you do is you learn to hold it. But that's another story. All I'm talking about in this video really is beginning to make them one of the biggest things that really broke camel's back for me was it was all about sucking, because I was watching Will Wilde a lot and Jason Ritchie, and they're very animated characters. They got a lot of personality and stuff going on, and they're artists, so they create art. So I thought it was all this sort of stuff. So but then I started watching Liam Ward doing this bending, and Tomlin. I'm not comparing these characters at all. I'm just saying, then, oh, well, yeah, these guys, they're not like, they are more sort of like, they're not in their characters at all, but unemotional. They're not unemotional, but what I'm saying is, like, when you hear Liam Ward bend, for instance, he's more like this. And you hear that. It's very gentle, very. Another thing, your harmonica is going to last a long time if you. But if I want to go. Yeah, and that's the difference between. And somebody that I know would say that is more beautiful than this. Because he would probably say my bends are out of tune or something. I don't know. So, I hope I've sort of said enough in here, and I know there's going to be people that are saying, yeah, you've said enough, shut up. Hole 4 is like hole 2. You, as a beginner, you can just try, this is just something that I did and it worked. Try blocking hole 3 only, smaller embouchure, play hole 4. I'm not having a go at these guys, but I've seen teachers on YouTube and whatever, and they say try this. Now, I could never do that. I couldn't do it for years, I don't think, a couple of years. So these guys who teach that sort of thing, it's possible that they've been playing between 5 and 10 and more years, and now they have that much control in their tongue, right? I didn't, right? Something else that I've just come to me today is when you're, right, so you're doing a tremolo in songs. What's your tremolo like? Is it da, 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 or is it da, 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 yeah, is it controlled, timely? What I'm trying to say is these things can go hand in hand, because bending, I'm using the back of my tongue and I'm activating stuff in my throat. Well, when you tremolo, so 2 ways of doing tremolo. One would just be to have fun. Let's just have a go at it. There's one way. It's just fun, just practical. The other way would set metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'll switch rooms in quick. So yeah, the second way of practicing tremolo is your metronome, 60 BPM, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You set it on, but then you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The reason why I'm saying this is because if you practice tremolo intentionally like this, it will, because you're using that same the back of your throat. Tremolo and bending, they're two totally separate things, right? But they are both, we're using the same parts of our body. So that's why I'm putting these two things together. Last and not least, if you're still here, people are very eager to get bending. If you can't play as clean as possible, then you're going to struggle to get bends, because in order to get a bend, you need a clean suction cup around the hole. Suck is not the best word. Breathing, breath control, diaphragmic belly breathing is the best way for sports people, wind instrument players, and anyone who wants to have control over their breath. Diaphragmic breathing is the suction cup that I'm on about is, if you're a plumber and you've got holes in your plunger, then it's not going to work very well if somebody is paying you to unblock their sink. So same deal. You're just going to struggle with bending if you don't have very good or at least 90% clean single holes. If you don't have, then just go and relax and just go and play small songs, play some more scales, learn more clean single notes, learn more belly breathing, diaphragmic breathing, just relax. But then also every now and then just have a go at trying to begin to make them noises. Go and buy the Richard Slay bending meditations so that you can listen and copy what's going on. I hope that's been helpful. God bless.